See, I'ma do this right, never ever could I do this if force. While increasing the funds, we're still checking the scores. Whether it's high goals galore or we're coming up short, still the passion is up in arms, loud as hell to the core. Analysis along with stats, now Jerry runs through that. While G's keeping it G, we'll play a race with facts. No cap, we keep it thorough, keep it true. But every borough tuning into the pieces of true clean. See, you're tuning to the pitch. Talking ballers, goal stats or kits that keep it fly for every player, ball and slick. See, you're tuning to the pitch. Talking all the fundamentals of the sport we love. Perfect show, feeling flow. See, you're tuning to the pitch. See, you're tuning to the pitch. We welcome you to the pitch. See, I'ma do this right, never ever could I do this if force. While increasing the funds, we're still checking the scores. Whether it's high goals galore or we're coming up short, still the passion is up in arms, loud as hell to the core. Analysis along with stats, now Jerry runs through that. While G's keeping it G, we'll play a race with facts. No cap, we keep it thorough, keep it true. But every borough tuning into the pieces of true clean. See, you're tuning to the pitch. Talking ballers, goal stats or kits that keep it fly for every player, ball and slick. See, you're tuning to the pitch. Talking all the fundamentals of the sport we love. Perfect show, feeling flow. See, you're tuning to the pitch. See, you're tuning to the pitch. We welcome you to the pitch.
Just killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Luvac left. You don't want to change from the 4-3. Boom, boom, boom. What's going on, people? We are back again on the Jerry James Show for the first transfer hub of the January transfer window of 2024. Happy New Year to everyone that's obviously tuning in again that wasn't with me yesterday, but big up to your damn selves. Apologies, this was supposed to be a pre-record, but I've had issues uploading it and so forth. So I said, you know what, why not go live with you guys? If we can go direct, chop up the latest transfer news. And heck, what I was going to talk about seems as though there's no point talking about it anymore. The likes of Inacio, Painha, whoever else you want to really chuck in there, Andre Trindade, they all seem to have just gone dead in the water. And supposedly Liverpool aren't really signing anyone this January transfer window. And it made me a bit worried. Do you know what I mean? We're going to have to definitely discuss that, but we've got a lot to talk about. The likes of Curtis Jones to Arsenal, Rhys Williams coming back from his stint at Aberdeen unsuccessfully. We've got obviously Carvalho to speak about. What's going on with Carvalho? What's the future for him? You know, couple clubs interested in him. So we've got a lot to obviously get into. Before I get into anything, though, what I need you guys to do is to make sure you are smashing the like. So as soon as you see me in front of your screens, this illuminated box or whatever, right? Just make sure we're heading over there and we're smashing that like button. I need everyone to smash the like button. The more people smash the like button, the more people you get to chop up with, because the more people will be in the chat and then the more people subscribe. And the algorithms work like that for anyone that wants to know. So please make sure you're liking and subscribing. It means the world to me if you could do that. So appreciate. Before we get into the building, is to shout everyone in the building. We've got Endsman TV saying we will be there. Big up to Endsman. Hope you're doing well. We've got Andy Vranari saying yes, boss. Be in a minute. It has done. Hope you're doing well, Andy. We've got Frank Carlisle. Happy 2024, JJ. You never walk alone. Appreciate that, Frank. Appreciate that. We actually need to get you on the show as well. Be really good to get you on. Psychedelic saying big up, JJ. Big up to Psychedelic. Hope you're doing well. We've got Mr. Dare say Drifty Wagwan saying Carvalho is being loaned out to Fulham. Listen, we're going to definitely chop it all up. We've got Pan of Scouts in the building saying big up, Jerry. All the best for 24, mate. Appreciate it, man. 2024 has actually been interesting. Started off with pure running. Of course, you guys know I'm doing the marathon this year. So, yeah, I mean, all the muscle mass I've acquired in the gym, I'm having to lose that now and it's getting straight onto East Africa mode. Just going to get as lean as possible for this marathon to try run it as quickly as possible. Big up to Anfield Road End in the building as well. My Ghanaian brother saying shout out JJ Chalet and everyone in the chat. Big up to yourselves. But look, before we get on to chop up Carvalho, which is obviously a really, really interesting one, that whole scenario with him, you know, being purchased from Liverpool by Liverpool from Fulham last season. We were really, really excited for him. It represented a change in formation, potentially a change in system, a really, really good talent. Started off quite well, but it just hasn't worked out for him, of course. at Liverpool and then at RB Leipzig, hence why he's coming back. We all know he's struggling to get into that side. It's a side that's doing quite well, let's be honest. I want to talk about Curtis Jones, because apparently, people, reports are suggesting, the ITKs, the blue tickers, the blue tick merchants are suggesting that Curtis Jones might be going to this team.
There's a collection, man, then. It's got this year's one, got this one, got the carnival one, got last year's home one.
And when I heard it, a bit of me, of course, was literally creasing. I was hilarious. A bit of me did feel a bit like this. And that's the craziest thing about it, is that Curtis Jones, the man that I've been touting, do you know what I mean? I've been the one-man champion hero across this channel. Do you know what I mean? For a couple of years now, since I've been on this YouTube situation, about 18 months or so, been championing, do you know what I mean? Curtis Jones, been arguing with Hussam on our therapy shows as he describes, you know, Curtis Jones being the worst player to ever play for Liverpool, or one of, if not the, having not achieved Charlie Adams, do you know what I mean, level. Do you know what I mean? Coming to Liverpool, really violating our guy, our star boy. Apparently now, Mikel Arteta, that's someone to say the best, do you know what I mean, manager in the league is, do you know what I mean, Saint Arteta, that can't do no wrong, is now apparently looking to sign this guy. And look, before we get into it, straight off the bat, I'm going to show you the proof. And this is what the chat's been, man. Let me just make sure I can share my screen with you guys, so you can get straight onto it there, because I've come prepared, guys. I've come prepared. And let me make sure you guys can see that. So yes, we can. So let me zoom in so we can actually see that more so. Can I zoom in one more? Oh, perfect. So discussing, do you know what I mean? Super Eagle, so SV Carboholic was discussing Declan Rice, obviously stating it's obvious Rice doesn't move the ball, as well as Partey through the lines. He can improve, but there's still been a fantastic signing for us, yada, yada, yada. Cool, we know the discussions around Rice. AFC Abden or AF Camden, let me know how we state that. AFC Amden, maybe. It makes more sense. Arsenal Football Club Amden, right? Stating, if all goes to plan this season, I think we will try to sign Curtis Jones for that 8 role next season. So that 8 role being the position that, you know, Curtis Jones was signed. Kai Havertz was signed to play for. The role that Xhaka coined last season for Arsenal. And I mean, the player that wasn't good enough for Arsenal all of a sudden is now the missing link as to why Arsenal aren't playing the way they are right now, apparently. Arsenal fans tell me. So he goes on to say that I think we'll try to sign Curtis Jones for that 8 role next season. Depends on how he progresses game time. He gets up there. But Mikel Defo wants him. As you can see there, 1.3 million engagement. So this has gone around. Super Eagle comes back and says, I'm a massive fan of his. Think he's a top talent and Defo the sort of profile I'm looking at. But what incentive do Liverpool and Klopp have to do business with us when we're competing for the same things? Really interesting. We go on to replies, and it's really interesting. In AFC Camden goes and states, might be a Cole Palmer type situation, be in contact already, and Jones would like to move south. All depends on how Klopp uses him. So, people, I'm going to call it straight off the bat. I think I'm calling bullcrap. Bullcrap. A player that done really well on the back end of last season, had a fantastic under-21 Euros where he was arguably player of the tournament. Players weren't rating him. People weren't rating him. Teams weren't rating him. Heck, Klopp didn't even seem to be rating him until he needed to go and put him in at the back end of last season. I know he was injured and stuff, but he didn't rate him to the level that I necessarily rated him at. Yet all of a sudden now, a few decent performances, Liverpool on a title charge, and Jones being a big contributor to that fact in that midfield, is actually getting everyone excited. And now what we're seeing is Curtis Jones now as this touted talent, you know, to come in and save the day at Arsenal, because, you know, he's going to be the starting number 8 for Arsenal because Kai Havertz isn't good enough. For 60 million, Kai Havertz. Who would have said that in January? Crazy, crazy. Again, I think it's bull crap. If we move on, and really interesting, and this is where it gets desperate. And I've got to say, from Arsenal, like I expected better. I expected better, man. If we're going to be deadly honest. 2 seconds, because Arsenal go on and state. And this is Simon Hughes stating Curtis Jones used to tell everyone he was an Arsenal fan. Nico Williams has been training at Melwood for less than 3 weeks. Roy Keane likes Queef Kelleher. Ryan Brewster has suffered more recent anguish than you know about on last night. This was in regard. This is a tweet in 2019. So people are really going back to Simon Hughes stating that, you know, Curtis Jones being an Arsenal fan. And heck, he could have been an Arsenal fan. One thing we know for a fact, though, he could have been an Arsenal fan, but one thing that we know for a fact, he's a Scouser. Got the do you know what I mean? The co-sign by Steven Gerrard. Is now playing for Liverpool. In my opinion, Liverpool's best midfielder. And I said it at the beginning of the season. I said he'd be our best midfielder ahead of Szoboszlai and McAllister. And to be honest, I'm right currently. If we're thinking about consistency and so. Curtis Jones isn't going anywhere. But listen, it's bull crap. I really want to know what you guys have to say on that. For me, I think that's very dead in the water. One thing I think that's fair to obviously, and we should actually just discuss as well, is the fact that the Cole part, and if we're just going to kind of play in a hypothetical world, you know, the argument that AFC Camden stated, or AF Camden stating that, you know, depends on how much game time he does get. I think that does play a fair bit. That's to, I mean, that goes without saying, and I mean, it kind of you can apply that to any player. If a player is not playing any games or isn't starting games when he feels he should be, and gets an offer from a big club, which Arsenal is still a big club, to go and be their starting number 8, why would you not entertain that as a footballer? I think that's fair to go and state. However, I just don't see. And the Cole Palmer situation is an interesting one, because that's the most recent equivalent, isn't it? It's, oh, you couldn't make it at City where there's bit part play. You go to Chelsea and you're now this starter. A starting position would obviously tempt any player. But Curtis Jones is our best midfielder, and I just don't see Liverpool making any deals with Arsenal, especially after that whole hoo-ha with Suarez and a £40 million plus £1 deal. So we're definitely going to have to obviously discuss that. Need to obviously get into obviously the comments as well, guys. Make sure we are smashing the like. Big up to Andy saying, I don't think he's ready for a top level club like Liverpool and Leipzig. That's in regards to Carvalho, but we'll discuss that later. Big up to Footy Judge Mo in the building. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Yeah, guys, make sure we're heading over to Footy Judge Mo, which a lot of you would do. I mean, we do the weekly op review on Tuesdays, 1 o'clock. So make sure you be there, or be square if you want to talk everything Premier League. We've got Mr. Drifty saying, I'd keep Carvalho because we only have 4 midfielders. We're definitely going to be able to chop it up. Andy's saying he can't see it in regards to Curtis Jones. Street to Brew Thames is trying to draw me out, guys, saying, JJ, I remember you said you'd sell Curtis. I said I'd say him if we don't play him, because I think he's good enough to be our starting midfielder. I think he's one of our best players, if I'm being honest, in terms of ability. But if he's not going to play, why keep him on the bench? We're better off getting a different player. I think that's fair. I don't think I ever discredited his ability. But I see what you tried to do there, Streets. But I hope you're doing well. We've got Frank Carlisle adamant saying, Curtis going nowhere, JJ, mate. Andy Renari saying, if it's a hefty price for Curtis Jones, I'd 100% let him go, but he has become more important to the team. Anfield Roden saying, apparently Curtis Jones is an Arsenal fan too. He won't go, I don't think. Yeah, I've just showed you that, guys, there. Panoscal stating, Jones won't want an Arsenal move, and so Klopp won't sell him either. I think he feels he is an important player for us as well, in my opinion. I think that's fair. Keep it level saying, FSG will never do business with Arsenal. Adamant as well. Who else we got as well? Mr. Dad saying John Henry don't like Arsenal. Remember when Bobby had a clause in his contract that everyone could have signed him but Arsenal? I didn't even remember that, man. Zayn Hanif saying, Jerry, the hypothetical Dreamland Curtis goes to Arsenal. Will you buy the Arsenal shirt? Ooh. I would buy it for the studio. If I had a studio, I would definitely buy it. That would be the one Arsenal shirt I'd have. That'd be the one Arsenal shirt I have. Keep it level saying Curtis probably liked Arsenal players when he was a kid, like Perez and Henry, like the rest of us. Doesn't mean he supported them. I think that's fair. Big up to Angel Knight 68 saying Klopp signed 2 players that play in Curtis Jones' position. What's the message to Curtis Jones? That's a really interesting one. That's a really interesting one, man. Like if we look at it from a different angle, from a different perspective, Curtis Jones had a really good, obviously, start or kind of end to last season. Really good Euros. However, we signed 2 players to go and play in this position. In terms of McAllister and Szoboszlai, you're still competing with the likes of, Thiago still in the team by Cetic, Elliot as well. We signed Gravenberch as well. That plays on that left-hand side as well. That message doesn't sound too clear. However, what he's doing, he's staking a claim, and I think we can't, discredit him for that. Big up to Streets Approved Tem saying, wasn't trying to draw you out, broski. LOL, big up. No, I'm joking, man. I'm joking. As in, I know you weren't trying to draw me out. It was just a comment. I'll do the same thing if you had your channel. So big up to yourself. We've got Honestly saying, big up Curtis, big up JJ. Curtis Jones ain't leaving. Can we please sell Rhys Williams? Listen, we're going to get into that, man. And in the big games, he starts ahead of Gravenberch and Mac plays DM. Big up to Sultan saying, JJ, I'm sorry. He is good, but not the best. We have to remember the City game against big oppositions. He ain't it. I think he's the best. I think he's better than Szoboszlai and McAllister. I think that's what I believe. I think there's a bigger sample size, and across that sample size, he's been better than the rest of those 2. And 3 with Gravenberch. Honestly saying it means step up our position, ain't safe, which brings more hunger to perform and also squad depth. I hear that as well. Andy saying Curtis Jones is still a starter for us and needs to compete for a first-team place. That's football for you, innit? 100% it is football. It is football. So, guys, let me know, obviously, if you watch this on a replay. And, obviously, it's in the comments down below. What do you think of that Curtis Jones? Do you think there's any legs to this story? I don't think there is. But, hell, we need to obviously chop up some more. The next one, people, that we need to obviously discuss is a really, really kind of interesting one. Now, we know Owen Beck a couple of days ago, has obviously returned to Liverpool from his loan deal. Another player that's obviously, or another couple players that are being touted on returning from their loan deals. We'll get onto the main man, Carvalho, later on. But the likes of Rhys Williams, the likes of Nat Phillips, looking like he might be the one to go and come back. Might come back to return to secure his space in that basement, in that Liverpool basement. We're looking at 2 centre-backs now being recalled by Liverpool. And what does this mean for Liverpool? I mean, if we just isolate the situation and look at Rhys Williams, most notably known for his, heroic performances on the back end of the 2021 season. The post-COVID season where Liverpool scratched, and scraped into the top 4 with a last-minute header from Alisson against West Brom. Obviously a backline of Nat Phillips and Rhys Williams seeing us over the line, with Virgil van Dijk suffering a horrible injury from Pickford. The likes of, obviously, Fabinho having to play at centre-back, Henderson at one point, Fabinho then being injured, Matip being out, Kabak and Ben Davies just not being good enough at all. And he done well. However, we knew he wasn't the standard. We could see he wasn't the best centre-back. Gone on to Aberdeen, guys, and I've checked the stats. He hasn't made a single senior team appearance. A really, really poor loan at Aberdeen. And Aberdeen isn't the best club in Scotland. A very famous club, a very prestigious club. A club that, if I was a player, I'd love to get loaned to Aberdeen. I think it's a very, very good step up. But he struggled. He struggled at Blackpool. He struggled at where else was he? Where was he last season? Swansea? Was it Cardiff? Somewhere. He struggled. And let's just be honest, I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool. And I think that's fair to say. Not everyone can be a Liverpool standard. You can still go on to have a great career, but I don't think it will be at Liverpool. However, it's very interesting because Rhys Williams is being recalled in the January transfer window. We're not too sure yet. Are they trying to go alone out Rhys Williams or sell him? Does he come in and give us squad depth? We've spoken about the likes of Konate being quite injury prone, Joe Gomez having to, overcoming his injuries, but having to cover at left back and right back as well as at centre back. Kwanzaa's still young. Matip is out for the season. Tsimikas looks to be out for the season, or majority of it anyway, with the broken collarbone. Robbo is still a fair bit. Quite. He's still away from training, still not running yet. Defensively, we haven't got a lot of squad depth. Does Rhys Williams come in? And the question I've got is, do we keep Williams then? With the games that are coming up, the more games we're in, the more competitions we're in, we're going to have to start to prioritize and say, you know what? We need Virgil and Konate for the Premier League, for the EFL or the FA Cup. We're facing someone in the Championship. Do we maybe put Rhys Williams in that team alongside a Kwanzaa? What do we do, guys? Please let me know before I get into, obviously, the article that I've got. But that, for me, is one that's really, really kind of interesting. And Nat Phillips is the one as well. Of course, on loan at Celtic. Liverpool are considering bringing Nat Phillips back as well to have some, squad depth from a defensive standpoint. And I'm starting to feel sorry for him as well. I'm really, really, really starting to feel sorry for him. Naldini, as some people wanted to call him. At certain points, the Cruyff turn against AC Milan hasn't been able to kick on and really kind of stake a claim in any team. He went to Bournemouth last season. He's now at Celtic. I feel sorry for him because we're not selling him, but he keeps going out on loan. And at the age of 27 years now, his career, he could have had a decent Premier League career, if we're being honest, at a Burnley, at a Luton even. I think he'd be a great signing for Luton, a really, really good signing for Luton. He's just not getting that call. And I think Klopp understands, he likes his temperament, likes his, the fact that he's not going to kick up a fuss if he comes back. He's very grateful, to be a pro. He's just a very, very good, solid pro. Would you guys be happy with, obviously, Rhys Williams coming back? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to obviously get the article up now for us, guys. And straight off the bat here, this is obviously by David Lynch. So obviously very, very kind of renowned Liverpool journalist, stating Liverpool consider surprise Nat Phillips transfer decision after loan ends. Liverpool are considering retaining Nat Phillips for the second half of the season following his return from a difficult loan spell. Can we get this out of the way? Cool. Loan spell for the second half of this following his return from a different loan spell at Celtic. The 26-year-old joined the boys on a 6-month deal back in August, but only managed to clock up over 300 minutes of league action during his time there. The prospect of a further loan stint has been raised after his return to Merseyside, but this is Anfield understands the Reds are weighing up whether to keep hold of Phillips instead. Jurgen Klopp's options at centre-half have been thinned by the loss of Joel Matip for the remainder of the campaign due to a serious knee injury. And though youngster Joel Kwanzaa has stepped up impressively since Liverpool have plenty of reasons to err on the side of caution when it comes to the depth at the heart of their defence. One is Ibrahima Konate's proneness to muscle injuries, while the fact that Joe Gomez also serves as backup at both right back and left back is another. Phillips could be in contention to play a part in Sunday's FA Cup trip to Arsenal, and should he feature in any capacity, he will be unable to depart on another loan. This is really, really interesting. Really interesting. That is because FIFA rules forbid players from representing 3 clubs during a single season. Those regulations are why neither Fabio Carvalho or Rhys Williams are expected to be involved at the Emirates Stadium this weekend. The pair have returned from disappointed spells at RB Leipzig and Aberdeen, respectively, but it is understood that the alternative loan clubs are now being sought. So that's what David Lynch is saying, people. What do we think of that? The fact that, Nat Phillips might come back and he might be that backup that we need. Do you know what I mean? On the Liverpool bench, especially when we've got the injuries to Matip. It does suggest we might not go into the transfer window and go and purchase the highly touted Inacio as an example, or the French kid. I don't want to get his name wrong, but the one that people are talking about plays for Lyon, I believe, if I'm correct. Let me know. I might be Lille, but let me know. Really, really good centre back there from what I've seen from compilations. Yeah, for me, that's going to be an interesting one. Of course, Rhys Williams. Do we try to sell him now, or sending him out on another loan? It seems as though he's not getting game time anyway. It's the best to just cash in on him now. Nat Phillips, having him as backup. Are you guys happy? Would you like to sell him in January and use those funds to go and get a centre back? Do you know what I mean? A more long-standing centre back to kind of ease him into the potential departure of Matip at the end of his contract at the end of the season. There's so many caveats and different kind of discussions that need to be had when it comes to the obviously defensive reinforcements. Need to obviously see what you guys are saying as well. 2 seconds. A lot of comments from you guys. Guys, keep making sure you're getting the comments in. And guys, when you're coming in, please make sure you're smashing a like as well. Just reminding you guys. Big up to Keep It Level saying, coming from a Scouser here, Liverpool lads only support 2 clubs, mate. Either Liverpool or Everton. Curtis Jones is from LA Toxless. Tocky. He would have been terrorized for being an Arsenal supporter. Facts. He's from Toxless. So, yeah, I think he's definitely a Liverpool fan. Mr. Darsay Drifty saying Nat Phillips is stay. Nat Phillips is a stay until the end of the season. Honestly saying Owen Beck, I understand, but Rhys Williams is dead. My 88-year-old grandfather can do a better job, and he loves to drink too. Keep It Level saying worst piece of journalism I've seen in a while. And we've got Andy Renari saying Rhys Williams ain't that, struggled at Swansea, Blackpool, and I say it was Swansea, Blackpool, and Aberdeen. I don't think he's Liverpool quality. He did a job in 2021, but he defo isn't that guy. I'm inclined to agree. We've got Keep It Level saying, Sir Alex's old club, Aberdeen. Yes, it is. Mr. Drifty saying, we won't be signing anyone unless we have an injury crisis. I mean, what do we consider an injury crisis defensively? Is this an injury crisis now? Guys, make sure we are smashing the like. Honestly saying, bro had 0 appearances for Aberdeen. Selling to Pegswell in the Dutch 2nd division. I'd rather keep Nat Phillips from Zayn Hanif. We got Jamrock in the building. Big up to yourself saying Rhys Williams getting recalled is not that deep. He's not getting any playing time at the club he has been loaned to, not even making the squad. It makes sense to recall him. It does. Jamrock saying they recalled Carvalho for the same reason. That's true. Rhys Williams is just a bit different because of the fact that we've got defensive frailties at the moment. We know how Liverpool are. If Liverpool see they need a centre-back, do they go into the market to go and get a random or not get their number 1 target, or do they wait for their number 1 target in the summer and potentially keep the player? That's the discussion that I'm looking to obviously go and have. Big up to Carmino Pija saying, love, stay, Endo, best, Liverpool. Well, I didn't get any of that, but big up to yourself. Honesty is saying, sell them both and run me Ignacio. Frank saying, Williams was on the bench playing with the Seagulls and he couldn't control the beach ball. We don't need him back at the level we're playing at. What we need. He couldn't get into the Celtic team. That's in terms of Nat Phillips. Not good enough. We should buy quality to the end of the season successfully. Jerry, do you know who's actually playing well on loan? Seth Vandenberg. Yes, I've heard about Seth Vandenberg. He's actually doing really, really well. Really, really well. Honestly saying, I'm tired of this, bro. Sell them both and get me Ignacio. And the rumors are we are unlikely to buy anyone for F's sake. No ambition again. Ignacio is there for 35 million and we have the money. We're definitely going to have a talk about that. Jamrock saying bring back Sepp. Maybe that's the one we do. Maybe we do bring back Sepp. Maybe we bring back Sepp. Maybe that's the one. We got Psychedelic saying, when I think of Rhys Williams, I think about the calamity shambles with Lovren. He's never been that guy. At least Phillips had some potential. Dustin saying, Jerry, do you think we have to sign players in Jan or recalls can be enough? I mean, depends who the recalls are. You know, if Carvalho comes in, and Carvalho is the one that has a lot of ability, and it's actually a great segue to go into obviously the next section. But Carvalho is one that, you know, has the ability and to play for Liverpool and like the natural talent as well. Is he as good as some people made out? Maybe no. Does he have some things he has to work on? 100%. But it seems as though, do you know what I mean? This loan hasn't really worked out. He needs to come and start to play games to actually prove Do you know what I mean? He can be the guy at any team, let alone Liverpool. The likes of Rhys Williams, Owen Beck, Nat Phillips, we just know they're just not good enough for the Liverpool standard, in my opinion. So keeping them in from that perspective, I think we need to go into the market. And I think this window is a great opportunity for Liverpool to, strengthen in January with a potential for that player to be a key component of the team next summer. And I think if we can do that, that might be the push we need to go and potentially win the league, potentially win the Europa League or a couple of domestic cups as well. So it just depends on how Liverpool see it and, how lucky we are with injuries. We know how Liverpool operate, and if he's not going to be the first choice that we can get, we're probably not going to do anything in the market. We know that Schmatka's role is essentially null and void now, or coming to the end of its conclusion. So are we going to do any roles without having a director of football again? I'm not sure. There's so many different kind of factors to take into consideration, man. We've got Double A, big up, saying we need to sign a centre-back, although pricey. Lenny Yoro, that's the French guy I was talking about, can play centre-back and DM, which hits two birds with one stone. Jerry's saying Klopp likes to solve problems from within if he gets a chance. That's definitely true. Andy Renari here saying, look, Carvalho's looked promising at times, but he isn't ready for a top-level club, which is why he also struggled at Leipzig. So for me, look, that's a great segue. Let's talk about the main man, the guy that we need to go and discuss. I'm going to get up the title here. Carvalho to leave Liverpool. LSE is looking to loan Carvalho out again. So after a failed stint at RB Leipzig, a move that a lot of people were looked at with happiness. RB Leipzig looked quite seemingly kind of content with that loan signing. He replaced essentially the outgoing Xavi Simons. He replaced the outgoing Nkunku at the time. Do you know what I mean? Szoboszlai left Leipzig. So a few players that had left, it looked as though he was going to go and get some game time. However, the signings of Xavi Simons, Daniel Olmo still retaining his place as well has just meant that game time has been really limited. And let's be honest, Xavi Simons has been fantastic for the last couple of seasons, last 18 months or so. His great kind of debut season being a first-team starter at obviously PSV. Goes on to RB Leipzig and just shows that he's got the ability to really be a top player. He's a midfielder I really like. Carvalho, however, has really struggled, man. He struggled. We know on the back end of last season, struggled to get into the Liverpool side as well. As I've discussed, there are a lot of rumours saying that, and I mentioned before, Carvalho and the likes of, Carvalho's camp and the likes of Klopp have actually had a dispute, hence why Carvalho wasn't really getting any game time. A very similar situation to the Sanchez situation that we're hearing, not as outgoing and as disrespectful as some people would like to make out, but still there seems to have been a rift between management and Carvalho's camp, whether that's members in Carvalho's kind of camp or whether that's Carvalho himself. And that's resulted in him obviously wanting to go and get game time, frustrated, not getting any game time as well, especially when Liverpool were poorly last season. And, goes on this loan. We hope it's going to be successful, even from a Liverpool perspective. If you can't come back to Liverpool, hopefully he does really well on loan and we can get a sizable fee from him and make a bit of profit. Hasn't played any games. And he's coming back to Liverpool now, a Liverpool that's high-flying. Question is, are Liverpool bringing him back to keep him there? As David Lynch has just stated, FIFA rules stipulate that you can't play for more than two clubs. Do you know what I mean? More than two clubs in a single season. If Carvalho stays and he plays one game, one senior appearance, whether that be in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, a league game, a Europa League game, he won't be able to go and play for any other team. It seems as though they're looking to loan him. It does. The likes of, Fulham, highly interested. Everton have been a team that have been touted, Daesh looking to go and secure Carvalho, which I think obviously just won't happen, but that's what's being discussed. The likes of obviously championship teams as well. Leicester. Where would you send Carvalho? I think that's the obviously main thing we obviously need to discuss. What next for him? Is this the end of his Liverpool career? Does this suggest that in the summer we're getting rid of Carvalho? Do we sell him or do we keep loaning him out until he gets better? What's the dynamic? I don't see how he fits this Liverpool team at this moment in time. I think there's more competition for places than there was last season. The only position he can kind of fill in right now at the moment in time would be in those forward areas. I think in midfield we're quite stacked. He can't really help out in the 6 positions. We saw he really didn't do well in the 8. The only position right now that's available to him would be out wide. And has he got? Can he provide us something? Can he be that bit of squad depth that we might need right now, especially with obviously Salah going up to AFCON, Szoboszlai sustaining that little injury as well means that Elliott might have to play in midfield. Can he play out on the right for us potentially? Who knows? That would be a really, really interesting kind of situation to obviously monitor as the transfer window goes on in terms of outgoings. I really need to know what you guys are saying in regards to that as well. We got Beep Beep, big up to Beep Beep saying loan him to Fulham. I hear that. Andy Vernari saying maybe he'll be a starter soon. Look at Saliba, went on loan a few times and then established himself as a key player at Arsenal. Yeah. Big up to Honesty saying, Sultan saying Xavi Simons is a baller. Big up to M Time, is it in the building? Hope you're doing well. We've got Sultan saying loan him to Burnley, he will develop. Burnley, Luton, there's a few players that, him playing regular Premier League games, I think will benefit him as well. And I'd like to see him in a different system to see how he could do, how well we could do. Big up to LFC Tenerife saying we have ballers in Jones and Elliott. Carvalho is not on that level yet, sadly. Sakadelic saying if Carvalho has any dignity, he will leave. He's already disrespected Klopp and he needs to move on. Is he really good enough? Harvey is clear. We've got Andy Vernari saying sometimes players need a few loans to get experience and grow elsewhere. Then they can play consistently. That is true as well. That is really, really true. Honestly saying I would sell him because I don't see him start in this midfield. I don't see him starting in the midfield either. We have Double A saying Carvalho is too lightweight and should have stayed at Fulham. Unfortunately, he ain't going to make it at Liverpool due to how many midfielders we now have. Loan now and sell him in the summer for his sake. We've got Beep Beep saying Carvalho is finished at Liverpool. Sultan saying he doesn't suit a Klopp system, simple as. Andy saying he can play left wing or even false 9. Only false 9 is Gakpo. Frank Carlisle saying once you disrespect Klopp, your Liverpool career is over. Hence Carvalho, I'm afraid. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing, man, when it comes to obviously Carvalho. If I just go and just let me see if I can get up a little report before a little report on Fabio Carvalho before we move on. Yeah, let's just get this one up as well. 2 seconds with me, guys. Guys, whilst I'm doing this, please make sure we are smashing the like as well. Let me get, where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to get this up. 2 seconds, guys. Two seconds. Oh, come on. Where is it? There we go. Cool. You guys can see that. So yes, this is obviously on the Davo Cop website. BILD revealed Fabio Carvalho's likely loan destination in January. Fabio Carvalho endured a difficult loan spell at RB Leipzig and is expected to depart on his loan again this January. Fabio Carvalho obviously endured a horrible loan spell. There was a hope that a loan to the Bundesliga for Fabio Carvalho would revive his Liverpool career, as it didn't revive their Liverpool careers, but we've seen British players do quite well in the Bundesliga in recent years. The likes of Bayern Gittins, obviously Jadon Sancho, and more recently, obviously, Jude Bellingham as well, an English player that's doing really, really well in the Bundesliga, or done really well in the Bundesliga before his move to Real Madrid. However, his lack of game time under manager Marco Rose forced Jurgen Klopp and co into recalling the 21-year-old. German outlet BILD now report that Fabio Carvalho is likely to move on loan to former club Fulham after his unsatisfactory loan spell with Leipzig. It is a move that would make a lot of sense for Carvalho, as he will no doubt be familiar with some of the staff and players. Carvalho spent 7 years at Fulham from 2015 to 2022, working his way through the various youth ranks. In 2020, he went on to make his first team debut shortly after he turned 18, coming off the bench for the last 12 minutes during a 2-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday at Craven Cottage in the EFL Cup. Hopefully, Carvalho can reignite his form at Craven Cottage, which made Liverpool spend a reported £5 million plus add-ons on him. There was some concerns when the Reds announced the signing of Carvalho. He operates mainly as an attacking midfielder, although he can also play on the left. Jurgen Klopp doesn't really play with a true attacking midfielder. Furthermore, the attacking positions already have plenty of competition. The likes of Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz already are jostling for the left wing position. Therefore, it will be interesting to see where exactly those at Anfield see Carvalho slotting in on a long-term basis. So again, like I said, as I've stated, a lot of competition. So for me with Carvalho, it's an interesting one. And then again, guys, in the comments, if you're watching this on the replay, and even after we've done here, make sure we're into the comments, engage with me, like discuss. I'm active in the comments. We can have a chat about it. Do you know what I mean? What next for Carvalho? Do you guys rate him? Back last season, everyone was telling us that Carvalho is better than Elliott and Jones and etc. Now the narrative has changed after, a season or so. So please let us know. And the last thing I obviously wanted to discuss as well is and this is going to be interesting. Apparently, Liverpool won't be making any transfer dealings in this window. Let me make sure I can get that out about here. 2 seconds, guys. Need to make sure I can get that up for you guys. Where is it? I can't even find it. I'm just gonna have to discuss it, guys. We have to go off the whim. But yes, apparently, if rumors are to believe, Liverpool are not interested in, obviously, I've called their interest in the likes of Andre Trindade, who's obviously been linked with a move to Fulham. Also, alongside, obviously, Carvalho in this January transfer window, the Fluminense, obviously, player that got to the final of the Club World Cup, obviously lost to Man City. Seemed, in the back end of the last window that Liverpool were heavily linked. And had we had a bit more time, had there been, easier negotiations with Fluminense in regards to getting him before, his Copa Libertadores kind of run, we probably would have got him. However, we didn't. We didn't purchase him. We ended up getting Endo and then Gravenberch, obviously, on deadline day. Likes of Joao Painho, one that's been linked as well. Interest apparently called on that player as well. Robertson as well. Liverpool aren't looking to potentially go and sign a left back now as well. And the question I've got more so, and I wanted to discuss this before we head out, is have Liverpool or have us as fans as well changed our stance on necessarily needing a defensive midfielder because of how well Endo has done? Do we still need to go out and get an Andre Trindade? Is that someone that we actually need to go and discuss? Go for a DM, or is Endo enough? Has Endo proved that it's enough? And when we look at our defensive options, is that enough? The likes of Bajcetic, maybe potentially returning. Thiago seems to be back in training or some sort of just physical activity. I've seen him a couple of times now. He's out of the basement. What does that suggest? Does it suggest that Liverpool don't go into the market for a midfielder, especially now? Maybe in the summer, but maybe not now. Really interesting to see what you guys are saying here. Big up to Honesty saying Elliott, Bajcetic and Curtis Jones' developments are much further than him. Us in regards to, obviously, Carvalho. We discussed that already. Big up to K-Max saying Happy New Year. Big up to yourself. Happy New Year as well, my bro. Hope you're doing well. Psychedelic saying Carvalho moved to the Bundesliga to sit on the bench with a blanket. And we got AZ hundreds. Big up to yourself. On this saying, JJ, remember Saka, Kloppo binned him with the quickness. Same for Mario Balotelli. He did. K-Max saying Fabio is off to the Saints. He needs a step down a league. We are looking at Frendrup from Genoa. He's got some good stats as a DM. I don't think we going and get anyone. I don't think we go and get anyone. You got Rob Stewart saying Klopp out as a result of us not signing anyone. Rob Stewart has said Klopp out. What do we think about that, guys? We've got beat, not saying not surprised at all. Keep it level saying that doesn't bother me, Jerry. Obviously, the right players aren't available in January who he wants. As we discussed, if Klopp doesn't really get his number one target, even or number two is not available for a decent price, we're going to look, as Jamrock said earlier, we're going to look for solutions within the club first. We've got Double A saying, do you really believe we won't make any signings? We have a habit of saying that in January. Then out of knowing where we sign someone, we will 100% sign someone. I think it depends. It really, really depends. I think in the forward lines, we have a lot of depth, You know, in the midfield, we've got a lot of depth as well. If they're looking at Thiago coming back into the squad and playing even 10 games, do you know I mean? That 10 games is, do you know I mean, in the league? That's, do you know I mean, half, a quarter of the season, I guess, 10 games, right? If you can play 10 games, Bajcetic plays 10 games, that's 2 players that play half of the season. Like, that's the way I'm looking at it, and I think Liverpool would look at it as well. Big up to Promo in the building, man. Hope you're doing well. Dustin saying, who was the source for that? It was the guy from Goal. What's the guy's name, man? I'm gonna get it and show you guys. I'll find it before we head out. Keep it level saying midfielders will have to leave before we can add any, so most probably this summer. We've got K-Mac saying Owen Beck recalled as cover for Robbo. Fabio, Nat Williams, Ulrico to loan back out. Left back, centre forward, we can do with one more, in my opinion. AZ100 saying centre back and a forward more important, I think, than a DM. Promo saying only player we should be going for is Mbappe. As the Salah replacement, whether it's realistic or not, we need a big name signing. We all heard the Mbappe news, of course, recently. Frank Carlisle saying we really need to go into the January window for a left-sided centre-back. I think I agree. Honestly saying Endo is doing a great job. Bajcetic is coming back. Mac10, who obviously is back there as well, who are all doing a great job. And when someone pushes up, either Curtis Jones or Trent will be in the 6 when the midfield rotates. Honestly saying we are re-signing Arthur Melo, maybe a defender. Dustin saying, oh, a goal, not a serious source. You never know, bro. Keep it level saying, do you mean left centre back? I want Braithwaite from Everton, but he will definitely end up at City as Stone's replacement. I like Braithwaite. I think he's decent. Decent. But yeah, let me try and go and actually find that for you guys. Neil Jones, that's it. Neil Jones, that's the guy. It's Neil Jones that we need to discuss. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I can't find it. It's taking me too long. It's taking me way too long, guys. Way too long. But that's what obviously what we're discussing, guys. Yeah, send me in your questions before we head out. We've got about 5 minutes or so. I can read your questions and obviously discuss. If you guys got any questions for me, any hypotheticals, this is the time to go and do it. Again, I'm saying make sure we are smashing the like. Everyone in the building. How many likes are we actually on? Let me go and have a look. It better not be Jesus. We're on 34 likes. Can we get to 50 likes, people? Before we head out, can we get to 50 likes? It means that 20 of us have to go and like. K-Mac saying Neil Jones is a good source, to be fair, Jerry. Yeah, it was Neil Jones. K-Mac saying Robbo from Fulham as backup for Robbo. That would be jokes. Yeah, I like Robinson a lot. D-Dubs as well. Big up to yourself saying Anthony Robinson is someone we should bring in better than Tsimikas. I really like Anthony Robinson, man. I really do. NFC Tenerife saying Endo is my king. For the first time, we have a quality midfield depth in all quarters. Destroyer, controller, advancer, and the ace in the hole. Big up to Ali Nus saying we should buy our Romanian star Dragushin at centre-back. He's going to Spurs, it seems, for 30 million euros. Yeah, Ali Nus, let us know. How is Dragushin good? Do you rate Dragushin? As for Everton, they won't be allowed to sell to us by their bitter supporters. That's in regards to Braithwaite. I agree. What other questions have we got, man? What other questions have we got? Guys, put in your questions. I'm going to have to just cut it short. Guys, make sure we're smashing a like. Get us to 50 likes straight off the bat. Come on, man. I trust in everyone in the chat. I trust in everyone in the chat. We should easily be on 40. We're on 36 now, guys. Can we get to 40? Can we get to 40? Then we discuss 50. Then we discuss 50. Amazing. Big up to OYB. Only... What does OYB stand for? Let us know, OYB. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, but big up to yourself. Hope you're doing well. Saying, if we can only sign one position in Jan, who would you get? Who I'd actually get, and if it's a realistic position, I'd go and get Jared Bowen. Like, as in, it's not realistic because I don't think West Ham would sell, but I'd go and get Jared Bowen. I think if we can get a forward that we know is equally as clinical as equally as clinical as Jota, as an example. Yeah? Equally as clinical, where he just finishes. It takes the pressure off of Nunes, takes the pressure off of Salah, and means that we've got 3 players that can all score goals. We know about Jota's injury record as well. I think that's what I would go for. Who that player is, I'm not too sure. OYB letting us know it stands for "Oh, we have beauty" in honor of the Olympiacos strike. I hear you. Came back saying, great show, JJ. Peace out. Hashtag Mbappe to LFC 2024. Oh my God. We got Frank saying, I pressed the like. I think so should I think everyone else should as well. Come on, lads, press the like button. Press it. Dustin saying, I think a centre-back, Hincapié. Yeah, that's the one. I think Hincapié is one. I hear what you're saying in terms of getting him. That's another one. So the likes of Painha, Hincapié, Robinson, and Trindade, they're all players that Liverpool aren't going to go for. They're not looking to go and get at this moment in time. Big up to Double A saying, you're right, Jerry. By Chetic and Thiago coming back from midfield, Robert back end of January, Owen Beck recalled, plus Soboslai can play right forward. Centre-back is the only position we are short if we get an injury. That's the only position. Now, to be fair, I hear it from that perspective. I do. I really, really, really do. We've got Phil Bidwell saying, is there any concrete links of players that we will realistically sign this window? Unfortunately, there aren't. And I think that can... I guess you can look at it from two standpoints, right? Either Liverpool are doing their due diligence and are really, quiet and doing their negotiations under the radar like we've done in the past, and something's going to pop out of nowhere in a couple of weeks. Liverpool have signed Genoa centre-back Dragushin as an example. I know he's going to Spurs. I'm using it as an example. Or it may be that Liverpool actually aren't doing any business and we're focusing on the players that we've got and are looking for solutions within the squad first. That might be something that we look at. Owen Beck, of course, got his contract. Not Owen Beck. Bobby Clark got his contract extension as well. He's an option in midfield if we did need one. Liverpool must seemingly rate him, obviously, to give him that contract extension. So maybe that's something to obviously discuss. Ali Nas talking about Dragushin as well. The Spurs link saying, very good player. He is obviously just over 6 foot and he can play left and right centre back. He grew up at Juventus. He's 21 years old. Okay, so he's 21. Interesting. We've got Alina saying Mbappe is a great player, but very hard to work with, and Klopp is their main boss and will be hard to do everything what Mbappe wants. That's something to definitely discuss. We've got Angel saying, who wins the UCL, JJ, and where do we finish in the Premier League? Oh, I have a feeling Real Madrid win the Champions League. I think with the Bellingham signing, his ability to score last-minute winners, late goals. I know they haven't got a striker. They're not necessarily as strong, but I think it might be the last hurrah for Cruz and Co. I think that's the team to definitely look out for. I really like Vinicius and Rodrigo this season as well. Bellingham's doing Bellingham things at this moment in time, and you don't want to come up against them because you know they're going to score. He's going to score somehow. He's doing ridiculous. So I think that's someone to look out for right now. But look, the Champions League isn't as strong as it is. And look, if City buck up their ideas, it could easily be City as well. I'm just going with the kind of nostalgic team as well. It'd be interesting to see, could City beat around Madrid? You know what I mean, that'd be an interesting kind of game to go and watch, especially with obviously the decline in Modric, Cruz as well. Bowen, big up to K-Max saying Bowen is perfect. He would fit right in, no time needed to adapt to. I agree. We've got honestly saying question, who is for you the best Jörg Schmadtke replacement? And also, do you see one of the youngsters like McConnell, Chambers, Doak, Scannon leaving on loan? I don't see any of the youngsters leaving on loan. Maybe Musialowski, or he goes on loan, or we sell him. I don't think he's ever going to play for Liverpool. Especially this end of his career. I think he needs to go somewhere else, and then maybe post Klopp we try and sign him back, something like that, if he can perform to a level. Jörg Schmadtke. You know what? Do you know who I would actually go and get? I would definitely go and get Jurgen Klopp's dad, Ragnick. Reason I get Ragnick, I think they view football a very similar way, and I think the issues that Ragnick saw when he addressed, you know, when he saw certain issues at Man United, you know, Ronaldo, the players, that's someone that would be really, really good to get. That German link as well. I think that's something that could definitely work. I like Ragnick for what he's done as well. He's found a lot of good players, and he's built up a few fair clubs as well. I think, look, United, him being manager was just unfortunate. But yeah, that's one to obviously definitely look at. Paratici as well. That's one, obviously, in an ideal world. You can see Spurs recently, their signings from Juventus have been from the Italian league have been done quite well. The likes of Kulusevski from the Italian league. Who else? Who else from the Italian league? Bentancur from the Italian league. Dragushin, that apparently people are saying really good from the Italian league. Who else came from the Italian league? That's a big one. Udogi from the Italian league. Who else is in midfield for them? Perhaps Sarr wasn't. But yeah, so they've had some decent signings from the Italian leagues, man. So definitely something to look at there. Double A saying Lenny Yoro, in terms of who you sign, saying he's VVD's successor, can cover DM and is also a centre back that can play right back. He makes sense even at the prices quoted. Promo saying sign Mbappe for the summer or get a centre back in a DM in Jan. I definitely sign Mbappe if we could. Frank Carlisle saying I put Diaz on the wing. What do you think, JJ? I would, you know, I think on the right wing, sorry. I think I'd definitely put it. I think we've got options on the left wing. I think I'd still want to go and potentially start Nunes on the left, Jota, Diaz. Would be interesting to see Diaz not being able to go and cut in, as we saw against Newcastle. He actually created a lovely goal, the pass to the assist, obviously to Nunes, when he cut inside, jinked him after a good decoy run from Szoboszlai and played a beautiful pass into Nunes that obviously Nunes squared to Salah. That option wouldn't be there for us anymore. So it might even suit us because we've got the inverted Trent. It'll be interesting to go and see, you know. It'll be interesting to go and see. OYB saying, do you think Ender will lose his current form when he gets back from the Asia Cup? I'm not too sure. I hope he doesn't. That would be a genuine concern if that happens. North Red saying, I'm genuinely more worried about this season. I'm generally more worried this season about Salah's absence. I also definitely don't think we will go into the window this month. I'm waiting on 2024 official statement on this summer. I hear you. Big up to North Red. Question: would you start the injured boys if fit before or after the 2 weeks break? After the 2 weeks break, I think I would. I think it would be after. I think it definitely would be after. Angel saying Ragnick looks like a logical football guy. Olise looks like a baller as well. I like Olise. The links with Olise as well in recent days. Frank, who else we got here? Dustin saying, as fans, we don't really know enough sporting directors to make these decisions. No one knew about Schmadtke, and he did well for now. Yeah, I mean, he did all right. Gary Richards saying Johan Bakayoko would be a great seller backup to sign this January. Me too. Ragnick is the perfect guy for LFC, and he and Klopp are mates. Yeah, that's definitely what I look at. That's definitely what I look at, man. Definitely what I would look at. Let me just make sure how many likes we're on before we head out. If we are on 50 likes, I'd be so impressed. We are on 40 likes. Can we get 10 more likes whilst I do the intro, outro, man? Please, 10 more likes, guys. Make sure we're getting the likes in. But yeah, people, look, that's been the transfer hub for today. It's actually gotten proper dark really, really quickly. 4:30 sunset, boom, and we're out, man. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Make sure we are smashing a like. If we're new to the channel, some of you guys like the likes of OYB, I'll be so grateful if you could subscribe. And if you do like the content, a bit more Liverpool focused, a bit different. Do you know what I mean? We look at stuff from a different perspective. Please make sure we are smashing the like or subscribing as well. If we like the content, share it with other people as well. Make sure we're sharing it, whether that's on Twitter, TikTok, WhatsApp, wherever. Click me up if I say something outrageous. Let me know what you're saying and engage with me in the comments after the video's done. That does help a lot because I get to understand what you guys want to talk about, what's interesting to you guys. At the end of the day, this show is for you. It's obviously entertainment and some content for you guys. But thank you so much, guys. Yeah, stay tuned. Of course, we're going to have some more content coming out. Of course, we've got the preview for the FA Cup fixture as well on Sunday. So that's going to be coming up. And of course, we've got the transfer hub for tomorrow as well. And hopefully we've got some different news on that front on the day. If not, we're going to have to just chop it up with you guys. But until then, people, it's been a Jerry James show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we are out. Have a great afternoon and evening. And I'll see you on the other side. Peace.